Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Welcome back to another Magic the Gathering video. Just a quick little video that I want to put together here. I just recently made a trip to Giant Robot Comics in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. If any of you are in the area, definitely recommend checking it out. It's a pretty cool store, great selection of stuff, and they're definitely not sponsoring me or anything, but it is a store where I live now. It's within walking distance, so I go there. Hoping to go there quite a bit. So anyway, I picked up some things here today that I wanted to show off for the new Kaladesh set. So I got the Nissa Planeswalker deck. I wanted to buy the Chandra one as well, but unfortunately they were currently out, so I'll try to keep checking in. If they have one, I'll go pick it up. I also picked up a box of Dragon Shield greens to go with the green deck. So I never actually used the Dragon Shield sleeves before. Hopefully these are good. And I also picked up just a few random booster packs where they didn't have the other Planeswalker deck. Now, these aren't the only things I've gotten for Kaladesh. I did go to a draft there, actually, for the release day. And I got some pretty decent cards, I would say. Now, for the promo, I got Saheeli's Artistry, and this is the alternate art promo. At the end, they just had some random prize giveaways, so they actually ended up giving me a total of 4 of them. So I got like a full playset of the alternate art. I also got a Flaying Tendrils. And as far as cards that I opened up, I ended up getting a foil Beaumont Courier. This was in a pack that I bought after the event, but I got this on that day as well. And as far as cards that I drafted, I ended up playing a blue-black deck. But there were some cards that kind of caught my eye, something that might be worth a little bit, so I picked those on top of the blue-black cards that I used for the draft. I wasn't really expecting to do well in the draft, so I thought I would just go for cards that I thought I could use outside of the draft. So, but in the draft, I also pulled a foil Scrap Heap Scrounger, which uses black mana. So I actually put this in my deck, and it was pretty cool. Actually, worked kind of well. And then I also ended up seeing these cards, these two next cards, passed to me from somebody else. So these are the new rare lands for Kaladesh, and they work. They come in untapped if I control 2 or fewer lands. So I can't remember the exact term. I want to say these are what's called speed lands. But Spire Bluff Canal was passed to me, so I ended up just snatching that one up. And the very next pack that was passed to me had Botanical Sanctum in it. Now, I play blue-green normally outside of drafts and stuff like that, so definitely snatched that because it's something that I'll probably end up actually using. Excuse me. And, sorry, allergies are kind of bad still. And I also cracked this in one of the packs that I was given to open. So this is Campbell, Council of Allocation. So he is a legendary creature, 1 colorless, white and black. Whenever your opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I decided to pick this up because I'd like to take a shot at making my own commander deck. And I thought that this guy might make a decent commander for a white-black deck, so I picked that as one of my picks as well. So beyond that, let's kind of get into some openings here. I'm going to start with the Planeswalker deck. I also did recently pick up the dual decks for Obnixilus versus Nissa. I'll do a review of those at some point in the very near future, but for now I'm just going to open this up, have a look at it, and see what we got. And I apologize, there's a little bit of a glare. I'm still trying to find a decent place to record, so right now it's just from the overhead light. But this Nissa costs 4 colorless and 2 green, so 6 mana. Starts with a loyalty of 5, it's hard to see there, but starts with a loyalty of 5. Has a +3 ability, where you gain 3 life. At -4, you reveal the top 2 cards of your library. Put all land cards from among them onto the battlefield and the rest into your hand. And then they have a -12. She has a -12. That's creatures you control get +5/+5 and gain trample to the end of turn. I hadn't really looked too closely at these. I know that she had a -12. I didn't realize that her plus ability was +3, so it's actually not going to be that difficult to really get the +12. Or it's not going to be as difficult as I thought, but gaining 3 life is, you know, decent, and being able to put lands from the top of your deck and onto the battlefield. I actually kind of like this one almost a little bit better than the one that came in the dual decks. In fact, I'm hoping to get together with a friend of mine for some games of Magic, so I might actually try swapping out the Nissa from that one for this Nissa and see how that goes. So I'm going to hold off on my review on the dual decks until I get the opportunity to do that. So let's just have a look at this one. The deck is called Nature's Artisan, and I'm just going to go ahead and open it from the bottom because I'd like to try to preserve the packaging. I'm kind of weird that way, I guess, but see how successful I am. Probably not very. Alright. We are in. Oh, sorry, I should show off the back here a little bit too. So, it says, get started playing Magic right away. You'll summon mighty creatures onto the streets of Kaladesh and build reserves of etheric energy to power them up so they can tear through your enemy's defenses. Call on the power of your Planeswalker Nissa Ravane with a card unique to this deck to clinch your victory. And it comes with a ready-to-play 60-card deck featuring the foil Nissa, 2 Kaladesh booster packs, and a strategy insert. So, let's... And I guess it actually comes with a deck box too, although I'm not sure if it will be large enough to hold the deck when it's sleeved up, because I'm definitely going to want to sleeve this. If I can just pop her out with a... There we go. Right underneath the tripod. There we go. So let's have a closer look at Nissa here. I like the foiling on it actually too. Cool. And then we've got our deck box. So it looks wide enough to hold a sleeved card, but I don't think it's going to be thick enough. I'll give it a try, you know, before the end of the video. Just cut away and sleeve it up and see how it goes. But let's see if we can pop this open now. Alright. So just take a look at some of our extras here. So we got, of course, our quick reference card that comes in pretty much everything. Still, I think, the same artwork. And then we got a deck list here. That's probably some tips on playing the deck. And it looks like we've got some history on Nissa here. I'm not going to go through and read that, but that's pretty cool. And, you know, some decent artwork, so that's always nice. Right, and, you know, even talks a little bit about upgrading the deck there. So again, there's the deck list. There is our 2 booster packs. So I've got 3 other ones here I'm going to open up in this video as well, but we'll just set those aside for now. And keep them separate from the ones that came with this deck. So right on the front here we've got a Bristling Hydra. And I actually don't really know much about the deck. I don't think I've seen too much gameplay of it, so I don't know if it's mono green. I'm going to assume that it is, but we'll have a look and see here. So Bristling Hydra is a rare. When there's battlefield you get 3 energy, which is kind of the new mechanic for this set. So like the last sets had, you know, flip cards, and Eldritch Moon had meld, which is an ability that I actually liked better than I thought I would. This one has energies, so it's kind of like a new resource, and you can spend it to do things. So for example, when the Bristling Hydra enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy counters, and you can pay 3 energy to put a +1/+1 counter on the Hydra, and it gains hexproof. So hopefully there's other energy gain cards in here as well, so you might be able to really build that up. But right now it's a 4/3 for 4 mana. Oh, all right, it is blue-green. That is awesome. So this is my favorite combination. Not that it's necessarily the most powerful, but the first deck that I bought for Magic was for not Eldritch Moon, but Shadows over Innistrad. It was blue-green, and I've modified it heavily, but I love that deck. So blue-green is awesome. And so this one here is the Aether Squall Ancient. So it is a Leviathan, a 6/6 for 7. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get 3 energy counters. So that's a pretty good energy enabler later in the game. And if you pay 8 energy, you can return all other creatures to their owner's hands. And you can only activate this when you have the ability to cast a sorcery, so only on your turn. But that is awesome. So that was a card I was actually hoping to find. So pretty happy with those ones. And that's another rare. We got Verdant Crescendo. Search your library for a basic land card, put on the battlefield tapped. Search your library and graveyard for a card named Nissa, Nature's Artisan, which is the one that comes with this deck. Reveal it and put it into your hand. So this is a great way to get the Planeswalker out as well, which is pretty cool. So like that, that is rare, and there's actually 2 of them. So 5 rares total, which isn't bad. The previous intro decks only came with 2 rares, so and you actually get a duplicate of 1. So that's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to go through and read all the abilities of these cards, but if you want, you can definitely have a look here. I'll try to make sure that the text is visible. So we got the Riparian Tiger, Thriving Turtle, which is one of the cards I actually drafted in my deck, although I never got the poor little guy out. Oh, and there's 2 of those. Long Tusk Cub, 2 of those. Sage of Shaila's Claim. Wow, mouthful. Awesome. Servant of the Conduit. 2 of those. So I'm seeing a lot of things that give you energy so far, which is really good. Terrain Elemental. And 4 of those, so there's a full play set of them, so you get that out pretty consistently. Thriving Rhino, and 2 of those. Janjeet Sentry, 2 of those, and even some dual colored cards, which is pretty cool. I don't think there are many of those multicolored cards in my deck that I got for Shadows over Innistrad, so pretty cool there. Emfril Voyager, probably said that wrong, but 2 of those. Flying Trample. Guardian of the Great Conduit. As long as you control a Nissa Planeswalker, Guardian of the Great Conduit gets +2/+0 and has Vigilance. So that's pretty sweet. 2, 3 of those. And Longfin Skywhale. This is another card that I drafted, and he's pretty cool. For 4 mana, you get a 4/3 flyer. So flying always comes in handy. And you get 2 of those, so that's cool. Arrowback Stomper. When enters the battlefield, gain 5 life, which is nice. And we've actually got some dual lands as well, so that's pretty cool. I mean, not the rare ones or anything, but I can slip one of those in there. Woodland Stream. 2, 3, so 4 of those, which is nice because the other deck that I got only had basics, and the rest is probably, oh no, I guess we got some instants and sorceries, but we got our basic forests, our islands, which I actually really like the island art for the lands here. Alright, and now we got, looks like some sorceries and instants, so Attune with Aether, and we got 2 of those, 3 of those. Appetite for the Unnatural, so and Destroy Enchantment and Life Gain, which is pretty sweet. 2 of those, and 2 Malfunctions, which I actually used in my draft, so that's pretty cool as well. So yeah, actually that's not a bad deck in my opinion. You get more rares than what you would have with the old intro decks, so that makes it a bit better there. It comes with dual lands, like the one that I got. I ended up adding dual lands to it, So that's pretty sweet. I mean, they are the ones that enter the battlefield tapped, so you know you either want to use them on turn 1 or later in the game when you've got plenty of mana type of thing. But it's still cool that they actually included those in there. So that's pretty nice. So yeah, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut away and I'm going to open up my sleeves. I'm just going to have a look and see if this will fit the sleeved deck. I'm hoping that it will, so we'll have a look and see what we get here. So I'll be right back. And I'm back. That actually took a lot longer to sleeve than I thought it would. These Dragon Shields, I guess there's probably a trick to them. I got a little bit better towards the end, but they are a snug fit. This video is also going on a little bit longer than I expected, so the 3 separate packs that I just bought individually, I'm not going to open them in this video. I'll do that in a separate one. I will open the cards that came with the dual deck, or not the dual deck, with the Planeswalker deck. In this video, but the other ones I will hold off on until I do a separate video for them. Anyway, it's the moment of truth, if these sleeved cards will fit. Now, it doesn't look great to begin with because, the sleeve cards appear to be taller than the box itself, but they do, press down. So we'll have a look and see. I haven't tried it yet, so one of the things that I did have an issue with before was that their boxes didn't support sleeved cards. But let's have a look here. Actually, they slide in pretty good. Closes just fine. Yeah, I am actually really surprised by that. So the box, and it's a nice looking box too. It actually holds the sleeve deck. Now, of course, if you expand it beyond 60 cards, it's not going to hold it. My previous deck that I had, intro deck, I think it's up to like 62 or 3 cards now. But yeah, it actually holds the sleeve deck, so I'm really surprised by that. I am hoping to get the Chandra deck. I'm not much of a red player, but I would like to have the other one just to see how they work against one another. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So we will move that aside. And the deck actually looks really cool. I will say that I think it's a better constructed deck than what they had in the past. It's nice that you get a few more rares for the money that you're paying. It's nice that there's a few cards that you actually get like 3 or 4 of to make things a little bit more consistent. I already see room for improvement with some cards, but I'm really happy with the way that this deck is put together. And I'm more than happy to give it a try and see how it goes. Now, if you're like a hardcore standard player, this is probably going to suck, but I'm not one of those. I'm a casual player. I just play to have fun, and I think I'll get enjoyment out of this deck even if I just leave it as is. So now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and open up the 2 boosters that came with it. See if we get anything good. And I should say this cost me $19.99 Canadian plus tax. Which is a pretty decent price because I think at Walmart they were charging, I want to say $29 for the intro decks. EB Games I think was charging $24.99. So I'm saving anywhere from $5 to $10 by getting them at Giant Robot, which is awesome. Plus it's helping support a local game shop, which I'm glad that I'm finally in a position to be able to do now. So anyway, without further ado, let's just have a look and see what we get here. If I can get into the pack, there we go. Alright, Nimble Innovator. I actually had one of these in my draft deck, so that's pretty cool. For 4, it's a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you get to draw a card. Spontaneous Artist. Built to Last. Another Attune with Aether, so that's pretty cool. Thriving Rats, Energetic Rats. You can put a counter on them. Fireforger's Puzzle Knot. Enters the battlefield, deals 1 damage to target creature or player. 2 and a red. Can sacrifice the Puzzle Knot. It deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So, yeah. Not bad, I guess. Not the greatest, but not bad. Renegade Tactics. Creatures can't block this turn and draw a card. Renegade Freighter. So this is another card that I actually had in my draft deck. So it's 3 mana for a 4/3 vehicle, crew 2, so you have to have a power 2 or greater in order to crew it, which isn't that difficult really with this set, and when it attacks it gets +1/+1 and gains trample until the end of turn. So it goes from a 4/3 to a 5/4 with trample, so it actually did pretty well for me. And pressure point. It looks like there's a lot of card drawing in this set. Bastion Mastodon. Oh. And we're into our uncommons now, so we got Harnessed Lightning. So 2, choose target creature, you get 3 energy counters. Then you may pay any amount of energy. Harnessed Lightning Bolt deals that much energy to target creature. Or to that creature. That's pretty cool. Fabrication Module. So 3 mana. Whenever you get 1 or more energy counters, put a +1/+1 on a creature that you control, and you can spend 4 and tap it to get an energy. So a good way to kind of beef up creatures. And then we got a Veteran Motorist. When enters battlefield, you get scry 2. It's just a red and a white. It's a dwarf. Whenever a Veteran Motorist crews a vehicle, that vehicle gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So that actually worked really well with that freighter. And our rare is a Key to the City. 2 mana, discard a card, up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. Whenever it becomes untapped, I may pay 2, and if I do, I get to draw a card. Then we got ourselves an island and a servo token, so that's not bad, I guess. And our Chandra pack. Oh. Alright, Demolish. Destroy target artifact or land. Aviary Mechanic. I'm hoping to get at some point the legendary dwarf. It's white and red. I wouldn't mind having that as a commander as well. And now that I'm getting some dwarf cards and some artifact and vehicle cards, it'd be pretty cool. I also got a Doretti Planeswalker from the conspiracy draft that I went to in a prize pack. So I might also at some point try to make a deck with him. So the more artifacts I can get for that, probably the better as well. Failed Inspection. Oh. Kajur Seed Sculptor. Ambitious Aetherborn. Fabricate. Welding Sparks. Welding Sparks deals X damage to target creature, where X is 3 plus the number of artifacts you control. Worker's Puzzle Knot. So 2 mana, it's the white one, I guess. When it enters battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact token. Spend 1 in the white, sacrifice Cogworker's Puzzle Knot, create a 1/1 servo. So you get 2 of them, I guess, for 4 mana. Tidy Conclusion. Inventor's Goggles. Larger Than Life. Our first uncommon is a Long Tusk Cub. Weaponcraft Enthusiast. Ceremonious Rejection. Target colorless spell. And our rare, oh, we got a Mythic. And we got an Angel of Invention. So 4, there's 3 colorless, 2 white. It's a 2/1 with flying, vigilance, and lifelink. Fabricate 2, so I can either put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, or I can create 2 servo artifact 1/1 creatures, and other creatures you control get +1/+1. So that is pretty sweet. And then we got a Plains, and then we got a Nissa emblem. Whenever land enters battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. So that must be her ultimate. Alright, so that's basically what came with the deck. Again, this was $20, which I consider to be well spent. The booster packs alone normally go for $5 there, so I got 2 booster packs, and I paid $10 for a Planeswalker deck. A deck box that actually fits the deck sleeved, which is pretty cool, and I just think it's a decent product. I actually really enjoy the Planeswalker deck, and yeah, I'm hoping to get the Chandra one now, more than I was before, so Depending, I may have to go and spend a little bit extra to get it, but I definitely want to pick that up now. It was also pretty sweet to get a Mythic, and I'm not sure how decent this one is as of yet, but we'll keep an eye out and see what the value is on it, especially after, I guess, the Pro Tour, which kind of determines or helps change the price of cards. Anyway, this was gone on a little bit longer than I was hoping, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped if you were looking or considering the idea of getting one of these Planeswalker decks. Again, it's more for, you know, not necessarily novice players, but I would say casual players. I actually like the Nissa in here, and again, I'm going to try her with the Nissa dual deck that I have. So I'll do that, and I'll come back with a video just talking about those dual decks, how they worked, and how they worked with the alternate Nissa in it. And next video that I put out will be just opening these 3 boosters. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and have a great time.